Hey, welcome to A Game From a Box. This is Sergio AM, and we've been teasing an office tour for years now, but never wrapped up that video because it's always evolving. We're constantly changing it up, moving things around, adding something, and to be honest, it never feels finished. So instead of a tour, we decided to start a series that's based on that work in progress, which for now we're calling Upgraded. Not very ecstatic about the name, but it works with the other shows, sums up the concept, and if you have a better idea, please let me know. So on episode 1, we just finished moving about a year ago and things are falling into place. So I'm going to show you some projects we have going on here in the office, along with a few smaller additions in between. When you first walk in here, it looks extremely cluttered, which it is, and your eyes don't really focus on anything, so what brings it to life is lighting. I do have some Philips Hue lights in here, but I wanted to light up these bookshelves as well as the surrounding shelves, so while digging online for a more cost-effective option, I stumbled upon these by Govee, which have some good features, are highly rated, and very budget-friendly. They've also ramped up their product line with all sorts of awesome lights that we'll hopefully check out later on. But as for these, they're very simple to install. You just plug everything together, unroll them, peel, and stick. For these bookshelves, we use 3 32-foot strips to cover every edge and shelf along with these IKEA chain LEDs to give us that nice bokeh, bouquet? Those blurred out circles. Next, I tossed 16-foot strips on the surrounding shelves. And I also added some to the arcade 1-up cabinets, but instead of sticking the LEDs directly on them, I instead attached some of these cable clips on the back and just routed the strip through them. This way, if anything happens to them, I could just swap them out for another set without damaging the cabinets. So once set up, these have a ton of modes you can play with via the app. On here, you can customize your own presets, choose from a huge list of scenes, and even have them sync to sound or music, which works really well with the volume from the cabinets. But that may be a little seizure-inducing. Now the 16-footers have RGB IC effects that let you go further by customizing segments of the LED strip so you can create very detailed lighting. For comparison, here's a look at it with just a normal ceiling light. And this is how it looks with the LEDs. Altogether, it really makes the room pop and complements everything on these shelves while giving it this kind of calm type of ambience. But if you like that Miami club scene, you can, I guess, do that too. But before we go on, I want to thank our sponsor, Private Internet Access. Private Internet Access is the world's leading no-logs VPN. PC Mag, Wired, Lifehacker, and plenty of other publications recommend it, plus it has a solid Trustpilot score. This VPN encrypts your connection and hides your IP address, making it look like you're connecting from someplace else in the world. This way, you bypass digital censorship or annoying ISP throttling. Plus, you can stream your favorite content no matter where you are. It also gives you access to plenty of other features, and it's excellent at blocking ads, trackers, and malware. They also have a rock-solid no-logs policy. Now let's be honest, many VPNs claim they don't log your activity, but Private Internet Access has actually proven this in court multiple times, which in turn makes them pretty trustworthy. With thousands of VPN servers, Private Internet Access is available on pretty much every platform, including Windows, Mac OS, and mobile apps. Just one subscription protects up to 10 devices simultaneously, and customer support is available 24/7. So if you want to stay safe online, it's time to get Private Internet Access. Use our link down in the description below so you can get access to a 78% discount. That's less than $3 a month, and you get 3 extra months for free. Plus, you're protected by a 30-day money-back guarantee. So please check them out because supporting them helps support us. Now, to fill the wider space in between the shelves on this wall, we went with these awesome Nanoleaf light panels. They're bold enough to use as a standalone centerpiece, which we actually did at first, but they also work really well in the background. They're available in various shapes. You've probably seen their triangles all over the internet, but we went with the large hexagon smarter kit that comes with 7 panels along with everything you need to get started, and one of their mini triangles expansion 10-pack to mix and match them all together. Here's how they look, very simple and lightweight. Over on the back, we've got these slots with pins to connect the power supply, a controller, and of course the light panels. Ideally, you want to attach everything before mounting to the wall, but on these bigger panels, you still have enough wiggle room to add or adjust them afterwards. To conceptualize the design, you can use their layout assistant on the app that lets you input all your panels, generate random designs, and drag and drop to customize them. As someone with a lot of patience, they made installation incredibly easy with these mounting plates. You can attach them with either screws or nails via these 2 holes, or with the included mounting tape. We went with the latter and placed them with the panels attached to see where they'd land, starting by the center one first and building it out from there. So we tried a few layouts at first, but this is the current design we've got going, and what I love about this system is that you can continue to grow it out by buying additional panels and just snapping them on, but keep in mind that you may need additional power adapters the further out you go. Setup via the app is very straightforward, and there's a lot you can adjust. You can create your own basic paint or dynamic scene, adjust colors, create playlists. These panels specifically have touch and gesture functionality, so you can tweak that as well, and there's also a discovery tab with thousands of user-created scenes that you can pick from or add to. Man, these look amazing and create such a unique vibe, be it if it's loud and energetic or calm and soothing. It brings this dull space to life. In our last place, we had a big open wall, which I covered in prints, but in this new one, we don't have that. So in this room, we have 3 doors that break the room apart, and not in a good way. To take advantage of that space, we picked up 4 of these wall control panels in black. I previously used a set for this charging station in the closet, which worked perfectly on this awkward low wall, but that's for another episode. Anyways, for now, I'm installing 1 panel to the top section of each door. That made it so I don't have to measure anything, just had to center them, level them, and mark each corner. Next, to install them, I picked up this hollow door and drywall anchor kit, which is really easy to use. You just need a screwdriver, and with a good amount of pressure, they dig right into the door. Then, just screw the panel in those anchors, and we're good to go. Now, to hang everything, they have all sorts of mounts and hooks that you can buy individually or bundled with the units, and they're also compatible with pegboard accessories, which is one of the reasons we went with this brand. We're using the left door for things we frequently use and need quick access to. And the 2 other doors on the back will display our controllers. Wall Control sells these long hooks that work with just about any size controller, but to keep them from sliding around, you're going to need these rubber edge guards. They come in different lengths, which you cut to size, and they attach with these built-in metal clips. On this one panel, we were able to comfortably fit 10 controllers, but you can get a few more on there if you don't mind them popping off the edge like we did on this other door. For this one, we found these pegboard hooks with a grippy neoprene. They're meant to hold like a drill, but they work perfectly for controllers as well. And they cost a lot less, so we got probably too many of them. They come in packs of 4, and we managed to fit 18 on this single panel. Once they're all up, you can see it's a bit crowded. I would not probably suggest this, but I'd prefer this over having them stored in a box. And there it is. It looks way more interesting than just the blank doors and serves as a great backdrop to videos. Taking a closer look at some of the smaller things that populate this room, this tiny computer-looking thing is not a tiny computer. It's a Ditoo by Divoom. I hope I said that right. To keep it short, it's a Bluetooth speaker that displays 16 by 16 pixel art, and it's packed with all sorts of features. Everything about it feels premium, be it from the unboxing experience, which is made up of this carrying bag and display box, all the way to the design and build quality. It's available in a few colors. It has an 8-hour battery life, a very bright pixel display, and for a tiny Bluetooth speaker, it sounds very well-rounded with decent bass, and it can get very loud. On here, you've got some mechanical keys and a single switch lever for things like menu, volume, brightness, and selection. Very basic, but if you want to go further, you'll need the app to get the most out of it. In here, there's a lot. You have your device settings, customization to create your own pixel art, or set up playlists with what you've downloaded. But the big thing here is the community, because Divoom does an amazing job at encouraging users to create with events, contests, and showcasing top talent, which means there's always something new you can display on that screen. So it's a cool little oddity to show off pixel art with, and they've also got a ton of other devices to go further, including these awesome looking bags that the introvert in me cannot possibly wear out in public, but is definitely worth sharing on an episode. Moving along, the older I get, the more I chase after nostalgia, and the one thing I can never catch up with has been those arcade games I used to toss quarters at when I was a kid. So to prep for our retro series, because I can't afford one of those awesome all-in-one arcade cabinets, I instead Frankensteined this emulation setup together. At the heart of it, I was going to originally go with a Raspberry Pi, but instead opted for something with a bit more power to make it future-proof so I can emulate other consoles. So we went with Minis? Let's go with that. MinisForum's X35G. It's a mini PC with a humble Intel Core i3, Intel UHD graphics, 16 gigs of RAM that can be expanded up to 64, and a 256 SSD, all in this slick aluminum enclosure. So it's not for modern AAA games, but it's more than enough to emulate retro titles. Now for connectivity, they packed a ton of ports in this small form factor. We've got a Thunderbolt 3 and 2 USB 3.1 ports on the front. To the side, a handy micro SD card slot and audio jack. Over on the back, 2 USB 2.0, 2 Ethernet, and an HDMI 2.0 port, display port, and this last one's for power. At this size, it's perfect to mount under our desk with the included plate, and it slides right on. To make it easier to access those 2 rear USB ports, I ran these extension cords towards the back of the desk, held in place with one of these cable clips. We're hooking it up to our TV here, which is an LG 43 UHD 4K IPS display with P2P HDR, ISP, 3DS, BRB, PSP, LOL, and JKJK. It maxes out at 60 Hz, so nothing over the top here, but at this size, it's just a solid option that suits our needs and the space, although I do wish it was touchscreen, because that would have been awesome. For the controllers, I've got 2 8BitDo arcade sticks for the Switch that we featured here before, but remember, they're also X-input compatible. They connect to the Switch via Bluetooth and to the PC with these 2 2.4 GHz dongles, and then we can bounce between systems with this Switch. At the moment, we're using it as a dedicated MAME machine, but I'll be expanding it to other systems in the future. On here, we've got hundreds of arcade games, and we're using LaunchBox as the front end to both organize and display them. Last but not least, it's on a 45 by 24 inch standing desk by StandDesk. I don't know why, but this small size is very difficult to find, but it's perfect for this space and gives us the option to set it low for the kids, at the normal height to sit down, or higher up to play standing up for a more arcadey experience. Altogether, this setup is a blast. It runs great on the MinisForum X35G. The wireless 8BitDo arcade sticks are perfect to use up close on the desk or further back sitting down. And MAME paired with LaunchBox makes it very easy to look through and organize all those games. So sadly, it's not one of those awesome all-in-one cabinets, but it's as close as I'll get these days. When it comes to the main desk, the only thing to give it any sense of organization is this desk shelf by Grovemade. Love their brand. All of their stuff is passionately made, very artisan, with this unique kind of earthly aesthetic, and they focus on items that upgrade your workspace. We bought this shelf on our own about a few years ago, but they recently reached out to us and sent us some of their other products so we can check out in this series. But this is their walnut desk with a minimalist design, and it helps raise your monitors, which then creates this extra space beneath to store your stuff. At the moment, I somehow found an arm that can hold this gigantic 33-pound, 49-inch ultra-wide Samsung monitor, which gives me all this additional space below. I've got a lot here. Of course, there's random toys scattered throughout. We've got chargers for the PS5 and Xbox Series X controllers, including the one my kids made on Xbox Design Lab, which we'll feature soon. Then I've got the Switch on that tiny charging stand so I can use it in tabletop mode, and it's decked out with the Skyward Sword Joy-Cons next to the rightly so controversial Zelda and Loftwing amiibo so I can take to the skies on the fly. Yes, I feel cheap every time I do it. Few other things here. At the back corner, I've got my 3DS XL with Earthbound in sleep mode, that Fuji X100F to the side, and then to match the shelf, I've got one of Grovemade's pen cups. Really well made, perfect for, pens, cheese sticks, Joy-Con straps, things like that. Anyways, underneath to the side, we have shelves that I'm currently using for a modded Game Boy Advance with a backlit IPS LCD screen, rocking a now correctly sized EverDrive GBA X5 Mini. Then I've got the good old Kindle Oasis, currently using it to read through Itchy Tasty, an unofficial history of Resident Evil, which is definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of the franchise. Next, to make the best use of space below, we have their desk tray. It slides right out, and at the moment on here I have some pens, memory cards and game cartridges, the remote for our BenQ TK700 STI projector we last spoke about, and of course, more pocketable consoles. First is the PS Vita Slim in that beautiful salmon colorway, and yes, I'm still working through Persona 4 Golden. Then we have a custom semi-transparent white Game Boy Color by the awesome folks at 8-Bit Aesthetics with a backlit LCD and brightness controls. I do have an EverDrive for it, but I mostly use it with rumble and accelerometer cartridges like Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Hate this game. On this larger side, I've got enough room for the keyboard, a Razer Huntsman Tournament Edition, as well as a Stream Deck to its left, and a Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. Now, if you want to go further, Grovemade has these small felt desk pads that you can put everything on top of, so when you're done using it, you just glide it all underneath the shelf to store away. As someone who always has a cluttered desk, Grovemade's system helps bring some order to all of this chaos. Seriously, guys, it gets really bad in here. Like I said, we've also got some of their other stuff like the monitor and desktop stand, which we use on the unboxing desk, the audio booth, and for B-roll, but we'll talk more about it on another episode. While we're at the desk, I do have 2 new additions that I want to quickly geek out over. As a kid, I always wanted one of those massive spring-loaded fist Shogun warriors, but even as an adult, they're hard to find and cost just under $1,000. But I did manage to get my hands on this incredible Shogun Masters Skeletor by Ruben Martinez from the latest Mattel Creations drop. It stands at almost 2 feet tall. The mech design and colors are so on point. It comes with a Havoc staff that shoots missiles that you can neatly store on the shoulders or legs, classic tiny skates at the bottom, and of course, that iconic spring-loaded rocket fist. Then in the same boat, but on the opposite side of the spectrum, is the gigantic Godzilla Shogun warrior, now in this tiny pocket size. This is the Shogun Figures Godzilla by Super 7. It's about identical to the original with this kind of melted look to it, flame tongue action. Sadly, no rocket fist, but at almost 4 inches tall, this destructive force can sort of fit right in your pocket. And that wraps up our first upgraded episode. On the next one, I'll show you what we did in the closet where we set up an inventory system, our charging station, as well as how we soundproofed it for recording VO like I am right this second. There's also the projector setup we've been teasing and a lot more, so hope you guys subscribe and stick around for the next one. It's been a hectic year, guys. I've been trying so hard to get these videos out, but I appreciate your patience and your support. You're all incredible. So now I'm gonna hand it off to you guys. Let me know your thoughts, what you loved, what you didn't, and let's talk in the comments. Also, if you're looking to pick up anything featured in this video and want to support us at the same time, please check out the affiliate links down in the description below, because that does help support what we do here. Once again, this is Sergio IM. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you for the next box.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to help us out, you can do so by clicking that thumbs up button. And while you're at it, why not subscribe for more content? It's free. We also love to hear you out, so please leave a comment down below or talk with us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Sergio IM, and I'll see you for the next box.